I do follow the speech read by the Governor General on that day, and I've seen that time have me read him missing Savalalaini. So I believe that no good time come this way, speech come up this way, to meet here. Mr. Speaker, before going further, I wish to congratulate MP for East Honiara constituency for his election as Deputy Speaker. Congratulations to the Deputy Prime Minister and the newly affirmed Ministers of the Crown for accepting your appointment and assignment of responsibilities. And I firmly believe that you were chosen on merit, not by demand, not by force, not by nepotism or other forms of external influence that may undermine your performance in commanding your ministerial goals for the common good of our people. Mr. Speaker, sir, much have been echoed in this chamber by prominent mature leaders and members of Parliament. Some are from the former Prime Ministers, some from the long-serving members of Parliament and ministers. But the question is, why not you all not doing time if all stop inside Parliament here? Or you all might have done it, but others have ruined it. But if you have done it rightly during that time, we should not have come this far. But also the answer may be different times have different challenges or contexts. And so we are the leaders of this time to face and mitigate the challenges head on. Ginat, I do believe we all have ears and listened and take note on board what is right as we navigate the ship to the unknown and uncharted waters ahead. Mr. Speaker, sir, as a new member of Parliament, I had the privilege to listen to two speeches from the throne, read by Sir David Tivakapu, which he continued to remind all of us of the nation's motto, to lead is to serve. This really guides our commitment to serve our beloved nation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Governor General do also emphasize, and I quote, we are each called to serve with integrity and dedication under God's guidance. Mr. Speaker, the speech from the throne sets the scene of our government's priorities and visions, and at the heart of this vision lies the fundamental truth. The truth and prosperity of our country that depends upon dedication, integrity and professionalism of our public servants. Sir, in the two speeches from the throne, I heard the statement, there is no room for complacency or incompetence within the public institutions. Why did the statements continue to be repeated in the speeches from the throne? Is it because nothing was done and so complacency is still present in the public service? Or is it complacency becoming a culture in the public service that demean the service delivery expected from the public servants? Mr. Speaker, sir, the presence of complacency or incompetence in the public service of Solomon Islands can be attributed to a combination of historical and cultural or even systemical factors, which include historical legacy and colonial influence. It might also include the unlimited resources and capacity, political interference, weak accountability and governance structure, and lastly, challenges and remote and rural service delivery in the remote islands. I believe that addressing this, Mr. Speaker, sir, will require comprehensive reforms, including governance and accountability mechanisms as alluded by the Minister of Public Service. The Public Service Act will be coming in. So as other regulations as public service transformation strategy, but we must also take into account that our public servants back in the provinces need housings. And so we must also ensure that Public Service Housing Act or regulations must be in place. Let me now take you to agriculture. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to highlight two critical areas of goals that the Agriculture Department is embarking on that will shape our path forward. Revitalizing agricultural extension services and improving market access for our farmers. Mr. Speaker, sir, on revitalizing agricultural extension services, our farmers are the backbone of our economy and the custodians of our land. The current situation in our provinces, those divisions actually are extensions already. They are not departments within the provinces here. Or you look no more other extension finish now. But before latter Agriculture Department is a division of its own. Extensions will be out in the islands, but the current status now, the Agriculture Division in Lata is just as an extension. Mr. Speaker, sir, the government through Agriculture Department is doing extremely well to secure funds as revolving funds for the traders and buyers with the aim to increase export. I really applaud the ministry for such an incentive, Mr. Speaker, but I prefer to recommend and encourage this department to move beyond buyers to the farmers, as they are the resource owners or producers. That's why time for me I'm God, you go start at Tumas. Why not? Or that's a funding law agriculture. And so most farms here were filled by farmers. At the end of the day, autonomona. Because the main target are the buyers and traders. Farmers are the source or the beginning of the production stage, which is the primary production that need to be taken care of so that production increases. Mr. Speaker, sir, our farmers need to be recognized, empowered and funded and assisted with appropriate infrastructures and knowledge to increase production. Empowering our agricultural sector to reach its fullest potential will generate employment and even foster economic growth across the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm calling on the Minister responsible for agriculture to find some fundings for Agriculture Office in Lata. The Agriculture Office in Lata was caught by fire in 2021 or 2022 and so left without an official office since then. The office is currently operating on an ad hoc basis from Office of the Meteorological Service. Revitalizing extension services and expanding markets access are interconnected pillars that will propel our nation towards sustainable development and social equity. Let us all work together, the government, communities and stakeholders, to turn these visions into reality. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me turn to education. We stand today seemingly united in our commitment to a brighter future, as outlined in the speech from the throne. While I appreciate the policy and legislative framework MERD is focusing on from 2025 to 2030, I wish to deliberate on access and quality as two of the three educational goals. Access to education is a noble aspiration, rightly takes center stage. But while the corridors of opportunity are being widened, are we not neglecting the very sense of the opportunity, the quality of education itself? Mr. Speaker, the emphasis on access, while crucial, risks becoming a hollow victory if the quality of education offered diminishes. We are building bridges to schools, but are we ensuring those bridges lead to strong foundations? Are we equipping students with the tools and skills necessary to thrive in a rapidly changing world? Mr. Speaker, I hear the echoes of a concern from parents, teachers and students themselves. Mifala access ko go quality no mona. The quality of teaching, the adequacy of resources, the relevance of curricula, these are not merely afterthoughts. They are very pillars upon which a truly equitable and accessible education system is built. We cannot afford to view access and quality as mutually exclusive concepts, Mr. Speaker. They are intertwined, interdependent, and equally vital. A student from a disadvantaged background may gain access to school, but if the curricula is outdated, the teachers are under-resourced, and the learning environment is uninspiring, the access becomes meaningless. Mr. Speaker, the speech from the throne speaks of raising teaching standards, strengthening governance and resource management across the education sector. These are laudable goals, Mr. Speaker, but they must not come at the expense of the fundamental principles that underpin quality education. Effective management in its truest form ensures that resources are allocated fairly and efficiently to enhance quality, not simply to streamline processes. Quality in teaching methods must be guided by a deep understanding of pedagogical best practices. Mr. Speaker, we must ask ourselves, what is the true cost of sacrificing quality for quantity? What legacy are we leaving for future generations if we prioritize access without ensuring that education they receive is truly enriching and transformative? I urge this government and all education stakeholders to ensure that access to education is for all Solomon Islanders, that denying some children to attend schools as some are disadvantaged within our country. Access is not just a matter of numbers, but a gateway to a higher quality education of learning for all, Mr. Speaker. Let us invest not only in new schools and classrooms, but also in the teachers who shape young minds, in the resources that fuel creativity, and in the curricula that prepare students for the challenges and opportunities in the future. Let us ensure that bridges we build to access are strong enough to support the weight of quality education. Mr. Speaker, let us not just expand access, let us elevate quality. Let us not count the students, but let us cultivate the minds. Mr. Speaker, sir, I do appreciate the current policy directions of where the Minister of Infrastructure is heading to, and I applaud the idea of the revitalization of PWD, but wish to urge the government to revisit the Marine Division, where the government-owned vessels and are deployed to the provinces, especially to the remote islands. I wish to thank the Minister of Infrastructure Development through the National Transport Fund for the financial support given to my constituency. Our people, through the community-based approach, have engaged in the maintenance of the latter wharf. And currently they are doing the 32 kilometers road of the inland of Santa Cruz. I am appealing for an additional funding so that the repair and maintenance can also extend to the 27-kilometer road to the western side of Santa Cruz. In regards to the franchise, Mr. Speaker, to the franchise program administered by the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, Mr. Speaker, I'm suggesting the responsible division to at least have a dialogue with Solomon Airlines. If the funds can be transferred to the firm and the government do subsidize airfares of Solomon Airlines rather than you may give him a lot of ships here. Over the last 4 years, no any subsidy ship go to Temotu yet. So I prefer subsidizing Solomon Airlines so that fare go down a little bit. Especially to the most and uneconomical routes to our province, not forgetting my lovely islands of Renville. On behalf of my people, I wish also to express my gratitude to GINAC and the DCGA and former members of Parliament for Temotu Nende for their dreams to have Santa Cruz Airport upgraded. I wish to thank the Deputy Prime Minister for his unwavering commitment to the airport. It was your time, effort and commitment that this project is upgraded. Completion of the project and the construction of 3 communication towers will be announced by the minister responsible later on today. Hence, the Temotu Nende constituency office is willing and fully committed to co-finance some activities leading up to the construction and installation of the 3 communication towers on Santa Cruz. Mr. Speaker, I wish to go to the Ministry of Health. I wish to also thank the GNAT for recognizing my people of Vatu and Pele constituency for the construction of Tukutaunga Area Health Center in Tikopia and Manuopo Area Health Center in the Rift Islands. Mr. Speaker, I encourage the Minister of Health to attend handover ceremony of these projects so that he really see and feel the joy and happiness of my people of these infrastructures. Nevertheless, I will be more happier if the announcement made by the Minister of Health for the maintenance of Lata Hospital is fruition by 2026. Let me go to police and national security. I appreciate Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the launching of the National Security Strategy 2025 and commend the Australian Defence Force through the DFAT for the funding of repair and refurbishment of Lata Police Station, the NDMO office, and other facilities that will also include the ramp and Eastern Border Base in Vanikoro in the next 1 or 2 decades, I believe. For Royal Somaliland Police, law and order enforcement in Honiara is extremely superior, Mr. Speaker. But in some of the remote provinces like mine in Temotu, it's really concerning. Officers need to be capacitated, they need to be equipped, supported with logistical transport, and leaders need to be replaced. Petrol come today, tomorrow no more finish. This needs to be addressed. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm urging the GNAT to consider relocation of Rowe Correctional Service to correctional service to my constituency. If you are continue looking at Bina, this one, if no any space, give him come from Ivala. Let us look after the correctional service. My people have indicated to me availing their registered unused lands for development. Hosting this national center will trigger and aid other forms of development in my province, like other flagship developments as Bin Harbor and Tin Hydro projects. Before I finish, I wish to go to the Ministry of Rural Development. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the role played by the ministry for our people, as it is one of the ministries that touches the lives of our people. It changes lives. It also transforms the communities. It increases living standards, creates market opportunities, but in some cases, it divides people, creates disunity, forces people to move and even migrate. But in general, it's a concept, it's a good concept. Mr. Speaker, I wish to commend the government to work on a formula CDF, on a new formula for CDF, a formula that reflects population, a formula that reflects total voters, that take into account isolations and remoteness, and a flat finger that given to all 50 constituencies. Having this standardized formula, I believe CDF or financial resources will be more equitable and fairer to the constituencies that are struggling to satisfy all their people with high population. Lastly but not the least, Mr. Speaker said, it is a legislative programs. Mr. Speaker, sir, reform is one of the similarities seen in all the government ministries within the speech. And if all ministers mean business to transform, more than 24 bills and relevant policies should be tabled by this term in Parliament. In the 2024 speech from the throne, it was announced that 12 bills are with the Legal Drafting Division in the Attorney General Chambers. And in the recent speech from the throne, 9 bills are set to be tabled for debate. Hence, 2 bills have been introduced in this session. I am encouraged for the output, which means 3 bills need to be scrutinized. Mr. Speaker, bring the 9 bills in for debate because bills passed in Parliament measures the government's commitment and seriousness to reform, transformation, and governance. As alluded by some speakers, Savala Bilia lo 2028 hemapia lo 2023 pa hemapia mo lo 2024. Se mo se wala man yukolem John, den lo naraya yukolem Jones, but lo 2026 by yukolem Johnson. On the other side, if only 3 bills are tabled, it shows government failure or performance. 9 bills from 12 bills is a high performance for us, but bills tabled less than 6 is below average, or a failure in examination for a student. I am appealing to the government to note that our performance can also be measured by our people through the number of bills passed in the chamber per year or in a term. Let's not use attorney chambers as a refilling station or a bus stop, or else the bills will never and ever be tabled in this chamber, in this tall parliament. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wholeheartedly believe that some of my suggestions and recommendations are part of many transformation pathways that will lead to the operational aspects of the policies and reforms of our government. Honourable Speaker, in concluding, may I take this opportunity to remind all of us in this chamber to be united in transforming this country whom we are called ours, a country we are citizens of by birth, a country we love to be called the Happy Isles. I would like to extend my acknowledgement to all development partners for your continuous support. Thank you for all the people in the villages, communities and islands for your prayer and continuous support for our government. A very big thank you to all public servants, health workers, teachers who are working in the most remote and isolated islands for your service to the people. Are we, Honourable Speaker, for your leadership in this tall Parliament? Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister, and may God direct your path and lead you in your leadership in taking this country forward. Thank you all of us members of Parliament as we think, say and do things for the common good of our people. With these few remarks, I support the motion and I resume my seat.